I want to bring in Teng Jianqun for more on China's stance and role in this crisis. He's the director for the Center of Arms Control at the China Institute of International Studies. Mr. Teng, DPRK does not appear to be listening to anyone, not even to China. So what can China do at this point besides issuing strong words of condemnation and backing sanctions?
It's a really hard time for China. How can China to deal with such a serious challenge in this region? Actually, there are two driving forces for DPRK to go nuclear test. The first is the technical requirement to miniaturize the nuclear warhead and to develop a more efficient nuclear capability. This is actually a technical requirement. The second is a political requirement. Military first has been the state policy for DPRK for decades. So this time, China, of course, as our spokesman mentioned just now, will continue the effort with other countries to stabilize the situation here. But this is only one side. I think all the parties concerned, including China, US, Russia, ROK, Japan, should rethink about their policy toward DPRK. Of course, security is a very important aspect of this issue, but how about the other issue? For example, the manipulation by some other countries in this region for their own sake. We discussed a lot about the deployment of that. That's just to give an excuse to the DPRK.
So here's my question to you. Does the international community, including China, need to perhaps its entire approach? Clearly, what's been done in the past is not working.
We cannot say in that way. I think the effort given by the relevant countries contributed greatly to the peace and stability, at least in recent 2 decades. And of course, there are some other factors we should take into consideration. For example, can we have consensus, especially among the major powers in this region? This is not a nuclear issue only. This is actually a geopolitical competition among major powers in Korean Peninsula. And Kim Jong-un actually just manipulated the contradiction between China and the United States, between China, ROK, and among other countries. So we should have a new consensus because the nuclear challenge at this moment is real and is direct. Any country can avoid the threat of nuclear capability from DPRK.
I think the world, what the world is really concerned about here, that the next time this will not be a test. This will be the real thing.
Yeah, this is a really challengeable question for the countries concerned in this region. And after rounds of nuclear tests and also rounds of missile launching, the DPRK does have the capability to attach the nuclear warheads to the missile system. And this is actually a real challenge, as I mentioned just now, is a direct threat to all the countries, not only to ROK, not only to China, but also to Russia, to Japan, to the United States. So we should rethink about our policy toward DPRK. And in terms of DPRK, I think Kim Jong-un should rethink about his strategy. It's a dangerous game played by the country, and if any use of nuclear weapon in Peninsula, that will be a disaster for all the countries concerned, and that will be the elimination of a nation in DPRK.
A disaster indeed. Sir, do you get a sense of what Kim Jong-un wants? What is his end game?
I think his purpose, at least, there are at least two purposes for Kim Jong-un to go nuclear armed. The first is the so-called security, and he mentioned many times that the threat from the United States and from ROK. So this is actually a security consideration from Kim Jong-un. Another is bargaining stake. Actually, for decades, not only Kim Jong-un, Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, they also, manipulate the nuclear capability for the, assistance from other countries and for the normalization of relations with other countries. This is actually a bargaining stick in the hand of DPRK. So for the other countries should give a broad vision toward the issue, not only targeted at the nuclear test, not only at the missile launching. We should have comprehensive plan to deal with the nuclear challenge from DPRK.
We'll leave it at that. Teng Jianqun, thank you so much, sir.